Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome yet again to another episode of Dinner Guide. My name is Chef Andy, and today I've got something really interesting for you all. We're going to be making something very simple with just a bit of fruit, and we're going to also be making a very simple cocktail to go with that. But before we do so, I'll start off by introducing the ingredients we'll be working with today. So from the front, I've got some icing sugar and some lemons. I also have 1 piece of apple, 1 black passion fruit and 1 orange. I also have some 2 slices of mango there, a bit of some cranberries, some pineapple there, some honey, some regular sugar and some icing sugar, and some cinnamon powder. I also have some water, a bit of some mint leaves, a bit of some ice. You also will need a mattle stick for making your cocktail. And last but not least, a beautiful cup that you can actually present your cocktail in. So we're going to take a short commercial break now, and when we come back, we're going to go straight into the process of how this is made, and it's something definitely none of you want to miss. So don't touch that dial, we'll be right back. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. We took a break, and we were just finishing off by introducing the ingredients we'll be working with today. And now we're just going to go into the main event. So start off first by heating up a pan. Give it a few minutes to heat up. Next up, just grab some bowls, and what you're just going to start by doing is basically just segmenting your fruit. So we're going to start off with some of this green apple. So all you're going to do is take those 4 sides out and just core the inside, and then proceed to cut those into some half-inch half moons, and proceed to chop the same way all the way to the end. Right, so your apples are done. Also go next and begin by cubing your mango. You should be cutting that into some half-inch dices. Proceed to do the same for the rest of your mango. Right, so now you've got your mangoes done, you've got your apples done. We're also going to be flambeing some pineapple, but last off we're going to finish that off with a bit of orange. So we're also going to segment this in a little while. I'll just start off by taking those bits off, and we can just reserve everything else. Now your pan is nice and hot. You should actually now be almost ready to go. So very importantly, start by grabbing your foremost ingredients. You'll be using some white rum, which is for flambe, a bit of honey and a bit of sugar. We'll also be incorporating some cranberries a little later, but most importantly, your cinnamon sugar. So we're going to start off by adding our pineapples and our green apples. And you just want to give that just a few minutes, just until you start to color your pineapples lightly. So just toss those in a pan. Next up, add a bit of some cinnamon sugar and a bit of your honey. So about half a teaspoon. And proceed to toss everything together in your pan. So this is particularly a very simple technique of doing your flambe. Very stress-free as well. Next up, we're going to add some powdered sugar. So I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons and reserve the rest. And then proceed just to toss everything together in your pan. Remember, at this point your pan is at high heat. Right, so just proceed to continue mixing while your sugar also continues to caramelize with your fruits. Up next, you're going to add your mangoes. And again, proceed to mix everything together. Now to that, we're just going to add a few sprigs of mint to give it a bit of a flavor. So I'm just going to pluck some of those mint leaves from the stems. So I'm going to use about two sprigs of mint should do. And basically just discard the stalks. So add that into your fruits and proceed to toss that once more, mixing everything through together. And at this stage now your fruits are now just slightly cooked. Just needs now for your last and final addition, which is some white rum. And basically a very, very simple way of getting that to flambe. Just give your ingredients one quick mix by tossing your pan, and basically allow your ingredients to just slide off to the front part of the pan and proceed to add your white rum. And basically just allow the flame to come up and just allow the flame to just cook down really slowly. So I hope you can all be able to just see that from afar. Very, very beautiful light flame going there. We're just going to toss that and mix the flavors through. And now you can basically just turn off your heat and your flambéed fruit is ready to go. Next up, remember we're also going to be making a cocktail to go hand in hand with that. So the orange that we were actually segmenting earlier, I'm just going to take one thin slice off one side, and basically we're going to reserve that for garnish. And basically we are now going to proceed into the next process of making a very, very simple cocktail. So you're going to start off by just pulling off those beautiful mint leaves. And be sure to also discard the stalks. You won't need the stalks for this recipe. So you should actually have about half a cup of just mint leaves. So just proceed until you have all your leaves separated from the stalks. And once that is done, discard the rest. And now all you'll need is to grab, first you'll begin by grabbing a jug, and we're also going to grab a bit of ice from the freezer. Remember, one particular very common thing you'll always see with cocktails, especially blended cocktails, always good to throw a bit of ice in there. It actually just really freshens up the drink in general, and it also just gives it a nice cooling, refreshing effect. So we're going to start off by adding our mint to the jug. Also add about half a cup of ice. Right, we're just going to break those slightly. And be sure to be very careful, especially when you're breaking ice from a glass. In this particular state, if it's a little stuck, just add a little bit of water in there, and it should allow you to just easily get your ice cubes out of your glass. Next up, we'll add a bit of rum, about 30 milliliters. And basically all you're going to do now is add your water. Next, add 1 tablespoon of sugar, and you can also add about half a teaspoon of honey. And now all you need to do is proceed to blend everything together. So we're just going to move that to our blender up here. Just blend it really quickly, but not continuously. Alright, so it's as simple as that. Now all you're left to do is pour this out, and you can basically proceed to serve your cocktail. But before we do so, we're going to go into a short break now, and when we do come back, we're going to go straight into the plating of the dish. We're also going to plate our cocktail, and I'll just give you a few hints of some very, very basic things you can just do at the end to just really beautify your meal in general. So please don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. We were on a very short break and now we are back and we're just about to finish everything that we were doing. If you're just catching up, we're basically just doing some fruit flambe, and we're also doing a mojito on the side, which we're just about to just put together now. So I'm going to start off by plating our fruit. And I'm just going to use something, most of you may not actually own one of this. It's actually called a mold. And these are basically very, very good, especially when you're plating. They really just make it really easy for you. So you're just going to see how it's done. So just place the ring right at the center of your plate and begin by scooping your fruit right in the center. So just a bit of fruit right in the middle like that. And then just proceed by just lightly lifting your ring, and it should actually allow you to hold your fruit very neatly right in the center of your plate, and you can actually just reserve the rest. And just to finish that, it's always nice and lively to actually have a bit of garnish in your dish. So I like to particularly use a sprig of mint, and I'm also going to use a bit of some passion fruit. So just simply just cut that open, and just using your hand, just squeeze your passion right over and just allow those seeds to just fall right over your fruit flambe. And then just finish that off with a nice sprig of mint, and that should actually just be served as it is. You can actually serve that with a bit of ice cream on the side, and it goes really well just on its own. So next up, we're going to proceed to also just move our mojito to the glass, but before we do so, using a muddling stick. So this is just, it's basically very, very common to find some of these tools with your barman, but particularly for this one, this is basically one that I would always use, especially if you own maybe a pestle and mortar like this. The stick really comes in handy, and it actually has more than one use, so you'll be able to just do it just as I'm doing now. So first thing, just grab a bit of lemon and just begin to just squeeze that right in your glass, and then add the second piece. Right, so once you squeezed your lemons in there, just grab a spoon and take your lemons out, just leaving the juices behind. Next up, grab a bit of mint as well. Just add those into your glass. And basically just use your stick to just tear those leaves up, or just basically just crush them, infusing your lemon juice with a bit of that mint. And now proceed to add that into the glass of choice that you decide to use for presentation. And then next up, remember we had this beautiful mixture that we made earlier. So just add that to your glass, getting all the way almost to the top. And basically all you're left to do now is just give it a bit of garnish. I'm going to be using a slice of orange. So just cut a nice beautiful slit right through. Just have that on the side like that. And then with a bit of mint, with just a bit of stalk, allowing it to just sit all the way to the bottom and just to be able to stand on its own. That should be as easy as that. And then just to finish off, you can actually now add just a bit of some cranberries to just give your plate a bit of color. So I'm just going to scoop those on one side of the plate. And last but not least, we're also going to be adding a bit of some lemon wedges, also some orange wedges. So very simply, just take both ends of your orange off, and using a sharp knife, proceed to peel your orange, going around sideways, working your knife right around the sides, making sure to take just enough skin off, leaving you with a nice clean piece of orange. Now you can proceed to discard the rest, and just using your knife, you can just start by getting those orange segments out. So just start by cutting right in between where the segments sit, and basically your knife should be able to get you some very, very beautiful orange wedges. So I'm only going to grab a few pieces from there. Right, so we'll just go with about 4 pieces. And just using a spoon, proceed to just place your orange segments right around your flambé, your fruit flambé dish. And that, ladies and gentlemen, would be as easy as you do it. And now, just to refresh the drink as well, just add about 2 or 3 pieces of some ice. And that is as simple as it is to make a very, very simple fruit flambé with some mojito. So I hope you've all actually managed to pick up something new on the show today, and you've actually managed to be able to learn something you can incorporate in your very own kitchen at home. I hope you've also had some fun today as I have, and until the next episode where we continue to bring you some very, very interesting, simple to make dishes that are budget friendly, healthy for you, and just much, much, much easier than what you're used to. It has been a pleasure being with you today. I will also remind you that we do have a Facebook page. Do check it out. Leave your comments, your inquiries, or any other questions pertaining the show, and me and my directors will definitely be looking forward to getting back to you. So from my end, thank you so much for tuning in, and until the next episode, have a lovely evening, enjoy your dinner, enjoy your week, and see you soon.